Welcome, folks, one and all, to something a little bit different, as this is the demo to a game that's currently on Kickstarter. The final game will feature improved voice acting, animation and audio, as well as an in-game note system. For now, let us play the demo of Lord Winklebottom Investigates. There's Lord Winklebottom right there, looking really dapper with his hat. This is a point-and-click adventure game developed by cave monsters in a 1920s world where humans are nowhere to be seen. This game takes its inspiration from things like Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie adventures. Lord Winklebottom, with his faithful assistant Dr. Frumple, have been invited to Admiral Gilfrey's house on the 13th of October. He has something exciting to tell them. Unfortunately, we're never going to find out what that is. And you could probably guess why.
Oh my god, he's dead! The master's dead!
A murder! Who would have thought?
My word, what an astounding adventure that was, eh, Frumple?
Indeed, yes. Most daring enterprise. What's more, we get here only to find that the fellow that invited us is dead.
A tragic turn of events. Admiral Gilfrey was a good man. Astonishing that someone would want to murder him. I simply can't credit it.
Good thing you're here, eh? You'll crack this case in no time. You always do.
Well, we shall see, my friend. Our first task will be to get access to Gilfrey's papers. He must have a safe of some sort. Perhaps something in there will suggest a motive for murder. Here we are then, his drawing room. I say, who on earth is that unsavoury character? We must investigate.
Don't forget, I'm always here to help if you need me.
Good old Dr. Frumple, there with his cup of tea that never spills and never goes cold. Here is the first of 2 screens in the demo, and don't worry about seeing any solutions to puzzles here and thinking that things have been spoiled for the main game. All of the puzzles here are unique to the demo, so you won't get any forward knowledge for the game itself. Already you can see that this game oozes charm, from the music that's playing to the scenery that we have. Unfortunately, one thing sticks out in particular, and that is Admiral Gilfrey's body here. There are 2 things that we can do. The monocle allows us to look at things, and this hoof allows us to manipulate things. Let's have a look at poor Admiral Gilfrey.
Poor Admiral Gilfrey. Don't worry, old friend. I will find the fiend who did this to you.
I highly hope that you do. Can we do anything to get you out of there?
Nothing to be done for the poor fellow until we drain the water, I fear.
We shall have to get him out of there if I'm to do an autopsy. Can't very well determine the cause of death just by gulping at him through the glass, you know.
Well, you are a doctor after all. That autopsy will be very useful. There's an orangery over there, but we're not going to be going there just yet. The objective of the demo is to find the safe. And the safe is pretty easy to find. It's behind this painting.
A portrait of the great man in better times.
Distinguished looking chap, eh, Winklebottom?
Indeed. Very dapper. The problem is, we can know where the safe is, but if we can't get to it, the puzzle begins.
Odd, the painting seems stuck in place. I can't shift it an inch.
Clearly there's some kind of mechanism that we're going to have to find. But there doesn't appear to be one that's openly visible. We do have an inventory. We have to go to the very top of the screen, a la Beneath the Steel Sky, to see it. And all we have in here is an invitation.
Here's the invitation Gilfrey sent us. He promised to reveal some exciting news, but it seems events took a different turn.
A very murderous turn. My dear friend Lord Winklebottom, both yourself and your companion Dr. Frumple are cordially invited to join us for dinner on the 13th of October. I have some exciting news I must tell you in person. Yours faithfully, Admiral Gilfrey. Unfortunately, we'll never know what that news is. Or maybe we will, because perhaps Admiral Gilfrey thought ahead and put the information in the safe. Since we're in a point-and-click adventure game, what we need to do is we need to find everything that we can take that isn't nailed down. Not these books, but maybe this note.
A collection of numbers, how strange. A note to himself, perhaps, but what manner of code is this?
Birthdays, perhaps. I'm always forgetting blessed things.
Perhaps. We can take this.
We should take this with us.
Good plan. Now it's there in our inventory. And here is a familiar-looking skull.
1902 Australia. My God, Frumple, what a ghastly creature. Terrifying to think that such loathsome demons must once have crawled upon the earth.
Fella probably had 8 legs and great thundering claws that could tear it out in two. Gives me the willies just thinking about it.
Oh no, Dr. Frumple. They're nothing like that. They're even more horrifying than you could possibly imagine. There are records here. Let's have a look at them.
Sounds of the sea featuring periwinkle flange and the crustaceans.
That looks important. Can we take it?
The Admiral's in no position to object to me borrowing this.
Indeed not, on account of the Admiral being dead. The first puzzle we can solve pretty much right away, as here is a gramophone, and we have the whale song record.
It's one of those newfangled gramophone players.
Yes it is! This game also fulfills one of those joys that I have in point-and-click adventure games of being able to look at everything that looks important, and I love being able to do that. Can we use it?
It's no use on its own, it needs a record.
That it does! Let's use the record. Left click again, and then we select the gramophone.
I've put the record on the gramophone.
Marvellous. Can we play it?
This kind of modern music is quite dreadful. I am not going to play this without a good reason.
Fair enough, we've set something up, but we can't do anything with the gramophone yet. Let's keep looking around. Like at the cupboard.
A fine mahogany cupboard in the latest style, only the best for the Admiral.
Indeed. Can we open it? In here is a letter.
Looks to be a letter to his wife, written during one of his many expeditions.
Lucky for her, the only letters I ever seem to get are bills.
Dear Ethelberta, I fear we will be delayed in our return from this trip due to unforeseen circumstances. One of the guides has only managed to go and get himself eaten by another guide. Bad show. Therefore we have one less man to carry our supplies, which is making the trip much more strenuous. Remember, if you need to access my papers, I have left a note for you with the combination. Yours forever, Aristotle. I think we have that note, it's right here. But we don't quite yet know what that combination means. Let's look at the naval photograph and just get some background and some world building. I love a bit of world building in a game.
Ah, look at him here, the pride of the Admiralty. They say he had the sea running through his veins.
Whatever else might be running through his veins now that worries me.
We'll figure that out eventually, Frumple. Don't worry. Let's look at the wedding photograph. Any clues here?
This is Gilfrey on his wedding day. He was utterly devoted to Ethelberta. It was so sad when she passed away.
Terrible business, just terrible.
Indeed, very sad. Anything we can look at here? No? Miss Award we can look at?
London, 1914. A finer amphibian you could never hope to meet, eh, Frumple?
We have that number, but I don't think it's on the note.
The note we found in the drawing room.
No, it's 1902, 1898, and 1908. Let's look at the trophy.
Won this in Mexico in 1911, apparently. He was a strong, fit man, even in his advancing years. He would have fought to his final breath.
Won a few sporting trophies myself in my youth, you know. Came second in the all boys egg and spoon race back at the old academy. They let me keep the spoon. I'd give back the egg, mind. Matron already laid it that morning.
I'm sure you treasure that spoon. There's some amber here. Let's have a look at this.
A specimen of amber, presumably found by Gilfrey. The plaque seems to have some kind of hardened slime or mucus on it, so I can't read what it says.
Probably that slug of a gardener we saw earlier. Always getting that filthy mucus all over the place.
Come now, Frumple, this bigotry isn't like you at all.
Well, I just don't like invertebrates at all. Make my skin crawl.
I think we need to solve this by getting rid of that grime. Do we have anything here? Nope, nothing we can use to get rid of the grime. There is the suit of armour, though.
A relic of the Great Frog Wars. Gilfrey was most fond of ancient history.
Nothing we can do with it, though, which leaves the sea dog sat on this sofa.
A salty old sea dog.
There is an icon here to talk to the sea dog. Let's see if the sea dog has any information for us. We can say hi. We can ask about Gilfrey, or we can say farewell. Let's start by being polite. It's only proper.
Greetings, my good man.
Well, spit it out. What be you wanting, landlubber?
Well, you're not very polite, are you? Let's ask about Gilfrey.
Tell me, old chap, what do you know about the victim?
'Tis a terrible tale and no mistake. Gilfrey was me captain for many a long voyage, but it's no business of yours.
But if I may just ask you a few questions...
No, I be saying nothing else to the likes of you.
Well, you're instantly suspicious, but maybe we can glean something by just asking about you in general. Perhaps you might accidentally let something slip. That is, after all, what investigators have to be alert for. The tiniest of clues could be important.
Well, shall we discuss you for a moment?
Let's ask about his name.
Tell me, my man, what is your name?
The name be Walters, Salty Walters, and don't you be forgetting it neither.
Oh, don't worry, we won't.
Whatever happened to your leg and eye, old fella?
Yar, I be out in the ocean waves, and suddenly from the depths an almighty creature, whales they be calling 'em, emerges. I won't like to be saying what it did to me, but me leg be scuppered and me eye be mangled. But I don't like to be talking about it.
Don't blame the fellow, you're probably asking for it.
What's that you be saying?
Oh, nothing, old chap, just clearing my throat.
Good thing he didn't hear you. Also, you don't like whales. We'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, that's all for now.
And I think there's nothing more we can say. Cheerio!
Well then, good day to you, sir.
Yar.
Yar indeed. There are two things that we can look at, though. School photograph and this box.
I say, look at this old boy, it's Gilfrey and I during our school days. Ah, those were happy times.
Not for me, I couldn't abide school. Other boys used to make fun of my name. Dumple, they'd call me. The rotters.
Well, look where you are now, a doctor helping Lord Winklebottom. You've come far. Let's look at the box.
A curious box. Oddly, it seems fixed in place. It appears, however, that parts of the map itself might actually move slightly.
Curious. We have Africa, Europe, Arabia, Asia, Australia. Russia appears to already be pressed in.
I can't seem to press this button, it seems to be lodged down. I need something thin to prise it up.
Curious. What can we do with these? We can press them.
Doesn't appear to do anything. It seems that the button for Russia is lodged down.
We're going to have to deal with that, aren't we? Yes, we are. There's nothing else we can do here, so let's head into the orangery.
The Admiral's orangery. There must be clues in there.
There must be. Let's go.
Hold it right there, you lanky landlubber. The Admiral was mighty proud of his plants, and I'll not be having a great lumbering oaf like you trampling all over 'em. That place be off limits.
I didn't want to do it, but I think we have no choice but to scare off that misanthropic mariner.
Indeed. And we have all the clues that we need. He doesn't like whales, does he? Well, we have the Song of the Whales right here, and as much as Lord Winklebottom doesn't like this newfangled music, it's what we need to do to scare off the salty sea dog. So let's play it.
It's simply ghastly cacophony. Thank goodness my head is so far away from the infernal device.
Gah, no, they're back. It'll be happening again. I be getting out of here while I still can.
What a most curious fellow.
Indeed. Can we turn this off?
I most certainly will not play that dubious disc for a second time.
Fair enough, it's already stopped, but he did drop a handkerchief.
What's this? A handkerchief.
Silly fool must have dropped it when he ran off.
Marvellous! It's not nailed down.
I should hold on to this for safekeeping.
It's ours now, and more importantly, I think we can use that to try and get that mucus off this amber statue thing.
It's no good. The slime is stuck fast. No amount of rubbing is going to get this off.
Clearly, we need more. But for now, we can head to the orangery. And here we are! We really are tall. To be fair, we are a giraffe. Let's look at the plant marker.
The marker from that terribly appetizing looking plant in the orangery.
Oh, it's terribly appetizing, is it? Can we do anything with the plant marker?
It might be best to take this with me.
Sure, we'll take it. What about the plant?
My word, that does look frightfully tasty.
Well, I suppose it can't hurt for you to examine it.
Oh my, how awfully embarrassing. I do hope that wasn't an important clue.
I hope it wasn't an important clue either. You just ate it.
No, I really mustn't eat any more of this delicious plant.
Perhaps you will when we're not looking, but there are other things that we can look at here, like this Venus flytrap.
I once knew a chap who was killed after getting trapped in one of these. Sir Bumbles II. Very nasty way to go.
I can imagine. What about this plant marker?
A marker from a dangerous-looking plant Gilfrey discovered in America at the end of the last century.
In 1898, I might add. That's on my note. We'll take it.
Another potential clue?
Indeed. What about this tropical pitcher plant here?
This plant is full of a pungent chemical. Smells like rotting flesh.
That's a nasty niff, all right. Tell you what, though, it's done wonders for me sinuses. Haven't breathed this well in weeks.
Well, that's an improvement. Let's look at the plant marker.
Apparently this plant was discovered in Thailand. He certainly saw a lot of the world.
He did. Shall we take it?
We must gather all the evidence.
Everything, even if it's not important. Even the things on this cactus.
A cactus covered in dozens of needles.
I'm keeping well away. Got a dreadful phobia of needles, don't you know?
Doesn't that rather interfere with your work as a doctor?
Not at all, just close my eyes when I use them, that's all. It's a very common fear, you know. Most of my patients scream when they see me with one.
Maybe we can grab one of these.
Just going to pluck out one of these needles in case it comes in useful.
It certainly will. There's one more thing that we haven't looked at in here, and that's the water.
Some water has leaked from the end of this hose.
I have an idea. Why don't we dab the handkerchief in the water?
The handkerchief is now wet with the water from this hose.
We can maybe try and use the water to get rid of whatever's on that amber thing.
The drawing room. Rather more welcoming now that nautical ne'er-do-well has been dealt with.
Indeed. Let us go and back up into here. It's a good thing that Gilfrey's house had doors big enough that you could get in here in the first place. Okay, step one. We'll look at the water-soaked handkerchief.
A damp handkerchief. Smells a bit like brine.
And see if we can use this on here.
I think I'm onto something here, but the water just won't cut through this muck. Needs something stronger, I fear.
I think we have something stronger. Let's go back into the orangery. Remember that this had a certain whiff to it. What if we put this in here?
I'm going to collect some of this potent chemical on the sailor's handkerchief. My word, it really does seem like strong stuff.
Perhaps it's strong enough to get through that mucus.
It's soaked through with chemicals from the plant. It seems to be eating away at the material.
We're going to have to be quick then. I doubt there are any timing puzzles, but let's be hasty and use this on here.
There now, that did a splendid job of dissolving the slime. Cut through it in no time.
Brilliant. Now let's have a look at this.
A magnificent specimen found in 1908. Must be from one of his early expeditions in Africa.
1908 Africa.
A marker from a dangerous-looking plant Gilfrey discovered in America at the end of the last century.
1898 USA.
1902 Australia. My God, Frumple, what a ghastly...
And 1902 Australia. So we have this.
A note we found in the drawing room.
Australia, USA, Africa. Maybe if we press these in that order, it'll open something. Let's first deal with this though, which is that Russia is currently pressed down and won't get unpressed. Let's use the needle to pry this up.
This should do the trick. Yes, it's come unstuck. Now we shall get to the bottom of this baffling box.
One thing that I'm sure will be improved is that when you select an item, I imagine the entire box won't be dragged down, but just the item itself, so you can see past it. We can solve this puzzle now. We just need to press these in the right order. Australia, North America, Africa.
Eureka! I knew Gilfrey was hiding his papers somewhere. Now to see what's really going on here.
Indeed. Unfortunately, this is the end of the demo. To be continued. What's happening with Admiral Gilfrey? Will Lord Winklebottom and Dr. Frumple have to investigate? Most likely, because Admiral Gilfrey was a dear friend of Winklebottom. And if anything, Winklebottom will want to get to the bottom of who wanted his friend dead. Why would they want Gilfrey dead? And it's that question that really makes me want to see what happens in this game. It's a very enjoyable and short demo with oozing amounts of charm. The care and attention to detail that's been put into the backgrounds and the character animations and everything, even now when they say these things are going to be improved, is very impressive, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with this game. If you want to see what's going to be happening with this game, the link to the Kickstarter is in the description below, where you can keep track of Lord Winklebottom's many exploits. I imagine they're many. He does seem like a very accomplished investigator, if a little bit hungry at times. And so, that was the demo of Lord Winklebottom Investigates. A charming and whimsical look at the 1920s with no humans in sight. Or are there? Who knows what mysteries this game will reveal. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, for when we come back, something completely different. Maybe one day in the future, we'll be going through Lord Winklebottom's investigations for real. For now, the demo will have to suffice. And it's a really enjoyable demo at that. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. And just remember, if you see a delicious looking plant in an orangery, try not to eat it. It's very unbecoming of you to just eat random plants. What will the neighbours say? Later.